Welcome, everyone, to Analytics Are For the Nerds. We are 25% done with 2025. Look at us. Let's go.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Once again, gentlemen, I'm sorry about losing your boner. So sorry.
Very clear 101 in this biggest foot in the mouth draft. And the 101 is very clearly Rex Ryan, because that guy has definitely put some feet in the mouth. 100%. Guy loves feet, his white feet.
Big feet.
Lots of feet in
Little
the mouth,
feet.
I'm sure.
So many feet.
I gotta tell you, I am, you know this about me, I've been around for 20 years, you know I'm like 15 years late to a trend, but I'm also like 10 years before the next trend. I could rock out a visor, I think. I could rock it every day, and not for a long time, because eventually that trend will spill again, but I think tomorrow I can go out and people are like, he's rocking it, he's doing it right. He's doing it.
Hair and the double mustache and that is fucking gross. So, welcome.
I do want to be clear, though, that I have earned one, and Lou is depressed. There's a big difference. Lou is still trying to convince 16-year-olds he's cool, and they keep telling him they don't want weed from him. They can get it from anywhere.
Still the best. Still the best. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Ryan, go first, dude.
I'm doing great.
I
I'm
never let
doing
you go
great.
first.
I know. Thank you. It's a good week. We got GM meetings we'll talk about here soon. We got a lot of news to get to, fantasy football stuff, but it's good to be with you guys.
Whoa. It looks like we just Penn and Tellered you this whole time, because look at how exciting you are. You're like just a little vibrant shell. Louis always stepping on you. Well, it's nice. I see you got a haircut. Very, very nice.
It's so crazy that, and I know too, but isn't it insane that we can tell he got a haircut with a hat on? That's pretty crazy, right? Because you've got a haircut. We were both right. Yes. Recent haircut. Ryan?
Is this me or him? Okay.
It's him. It's him. He's always, there he is. There he is.
You got a haircut.
Right,
I'm back, I think. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're good. Did you catch any of that?
Don't worry. We said a lot of good stuff.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to...
We know she got a haircut while also wearing a hat. So I think that just shows how observant Louie and I are to you.
Yeah, it says a lot.
Or that we're creeps.
It's not because I don't like the haircut, just for the record. It's only because I came back from a hockey game and I'm still sweaty, so I need to just
look at the barber's. The barber's in the room, and can
there
confirm.
he is.
There's a barber is in the room.
Hey,
can
Joe,
confirm that. But it is pretty insane that we can tell that with a hat. That means a lot. We're pretty good friends there. Allie, we never ask about you. How are you doing?
I'm surviving and thriving, and I had a little complication with my Wi-Fi or phone or something, and I still kind of am. So if I'm delayed speaking, I'm sorry, or if I get kicked out, Mercury's in retrograde, whatever that means to my little witches out there. But I thought you guys were doing. I realized I didn't get any sort of text messaging from you guys in the last couple days, and I was like, "Oh, is this one of those bullshit?" Belated April Fool's Day where we're like I'm so traumatized that I was like, oh, these guys are playing a prank on me, like what jerks. And it turns out that no one was trying. It was just I have T-Mobile.
That would be I'm mad at myself for not thinking of a good April, and obviously we wouldn't have done it on you. It would have been me and you getting on Ryan, because he would have been the easy gullible one. He's always got so many things going on. We would have got him good with something. That was really really a disappointment. Maybe next year I'll
Joe the Barber. Joe the Barber, we got you.
Joe the Barber. Before we get into anything, I'm sorry, but I asked about you guys. Now it's about me.
Yeah.
But no, I want to tell a story, especially to the lawyer here too. And just whatever, it's been a while since I've stopped the show from starting to tell a life story, but I didn't really realize a place where this would have came in naturally. So I'm just going to tell the story. I had to go to small claims court yesterday for a customer that owed me some money. Some of you know I own a company. A customer owed me money, brought him small claims court. There's a first kind of judge that you meet when you go to small claims court, and they decide whether or not this can't be mediated before you go down to the second court trial. And we presented our case to this person, and the guy I was there saying owed me money has like an 88-page document, like printed out all nice, like hands it over. He's like, if you look at page 22 where I highlighted, I mean, these are the type of things that are coming out of his mouth. And I got 4 pictures with me. They're all on my phone. I'm like, you're handing them over to the judge. You can see these pictures. Just take a look at my gallery. Don't swipe too fast. It's those 2 pictures I want you to take a look at. We were very much differently prepared for such a thing. So we're there, and she's like, I don't really love your case, but if you're still, to me, she said it right in front of both of us. She goes, but if you still want to pursue it, you guys could go down to the court downstairs, go to trial. And I was like, sure. As we were walking out, and it's so weird and awkward in a situation like that, because you literally walk out with the person, and we have our next place to go is together. So we're basically walking hand in hand at this point. When I did, this is a little bit of the Louis G move, but I pretended like I called somebody next to him, and I said, doesn't look good. Go take the whole fucking roof off. Call me when it's done. And I hung up, and meaning that I was going to remove the work that I did for this guy, just whatever. I didn't call anybody, but we get in the elevator together, by the way, super weird. I'm sure he heard that. And he goes, dude, what are we doing here? Like, now I got to call the cops because you're saying this and you're going to have people there. And like, what are we doing? Like, we got along during this project, and what are we being? So I go, well, what do you want to do? He goes, can we just settle this? And I go, yeah, sure. What's your number? And like, I had a number much lower that he threw in his head, and he gave me the number, and I was like, still, I had to play cool. So I was thinking this amount. How about we meet in the middle? So he took it so quick. And he had me killed when we went down for this judge. I know he did. It was me against whoever you want to imagine, that guy, whatever, he wins. It could have been SpongeBob, whatever. I was coming from behind. So he does this. So now we have to like go back though, because we go to the court and we're like, hey, on the way down here, we kind of came up with a settlement. Do we just sign some papers here? They're like, no, you have to go back to the other room. So we had to like go back to the other room and like raise our hand while other proceedings were going on. We're like, hey, we took the elevator together and we came to these terms. So she has to stop everything she's doing to like write up the terms on a paper. And she's like, taking my name, my real last name's Gott. She's like, it's Mr. Gotti, right? Gotti. And I was like, dude, if my real name was Gotti, we wouldn't be in small claims court. I'll tell you that. The shit would have been handled elsewhere. But just a crazy story.
Maybe that's why you got such a good deal. Is he thought your last name was Gotti and he didn't want to, cross you.
Maybe, but man, it was a Hail Mary. You want to use some football terms. I throw a Hail Mary by pretending to put this call in to take off the work. And man, it hit. Randy Moss was there waiting for it to deflect and touch it. So that was a win. I haven't had too many of those lately.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I would have loved if, by the way, what a rom-com, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I would love if you both said the number at the same time, and he's like 100, and you're like 3. Like, you just sort of like,
yeah. Yeah, that is so funny. Like, yeah, let's say our numbers at the same time and just like shout out to it. That was really
A
fun.
six
I'm
pack.
picturing
But
Louis' negotiation style is just Vince Vaughn from Wedding Crashers. He's like, can I get some, maybe we'll get some frequent flyer points here too. We'll just split it down the middle. It's great. You sounds like you crushed it. And should I be a little bit offended that the one time you have something legal related, you do not ask me about it? You don't even mention it to me until it's already done. I mean,
you want to
I'm
know
kind
if
of hurt.
this is not even a surprise to either of you because this is a Louis problem. I get it. I walked in so fucking confident with my 4 pictures and I printed out 2 text messages and I was like, got him. I walked in strutting. I'm like, this dude ain't got no chance. And then he shows up with an 88-page document. I'm like, oh man, gotta call the Hail Mary.
Which
But,
glasses did you wear? What were your
um,
cork glasses?
I wore a solid blue, and I didn't dress up, but I didn't dress up like Louis. I dressed up like a poor like a poor construction owner that actually still does work with his hands.
Oh,
Like I didn't want to be a corporate. Guy, and $2,000 or $3,000 is a lot of money to me. I go, I wanted to show that I needed that money.
ladies, that means that Louis is in the first time in probably 40 years he didn't take 3 showers today. He just that means.
No, I still took the showers and just put some mud on me, pretending like I did some work. All right, I'm sorry to take up 10 minutes of the show. Go ahead and let's do your stuff.
Yes, I love a little sweet meet cute. I love that you two found happiness in an elevator. Very romantic. Speaking of romantic, and I've got a lot of opinions on this. The Buffalo Bills are now the second NFL team to have a Hallmark Christmas movie about them. It's currently being filmed right now, and it's going to be released in the winter time, which, as you heard earlier, is only 2 quarters away. But I will say this: not a fan of this. I watched the Kansas City Hallmark movies that came out. It's so annoying. It's everything you can imagine. It's just, I like sports so much, and boys that like sports are stupid. And it's like, it's that kind of thing. I can never find love because my parents and my family, we go everywhere, and I have no friends. And everyone knows I love sport. It's like that. So I will only accept this movie if Haley Steinfeld's in it. And I know it's going to be cheesy, which is not a bad thing, but I'm getting a little protective of my Bills now because we are now reaching so many people, which I do love, but it's getting to the point where it's like someone wearing a New York Yankees hat because it's fashion, not because it's the team. Not that matters. It's also great for the Yankees and they're still selling their merch, but it's just a little, I don't know. But I'm happy that it looks like, some of our players will be in the movie, but I'm just a little.
Well, we know who didn't get one of the roles she auditioned for, huh? Am I right, Ryan? No, I'm joking.
I was waiting for that turn.
No, I'm going to step on his toes here real quick because I do, and I know, and I want to hear more of your opinions about it because I feel really similar. Zero chance it's good, right? It's a Hallmark movie. Mario Lopez is in it, right? Or is Mario Lopez here for something different?
I don't know anymore.
Okay, he could be. I could just have been putting these two things together completely different. I know Mario Lopez is filming a movie here right now. Maybe it's not. I'm sorry for the Mario Lopez.
Bradley Cooper was here once. Maybe he's in it. We never know.
Yeah, I just saw a Hallmark and the Bills movie and Mario Lopez here at the same time. I just put them together. Maybe that's me being wrong. But so yeah, there's a zero chance it's not gonna be cheesy. There's zero chance that it's not going to be, somebody that every dumb Bills fans can be like, lead actor is just like my uncle. That's my Uncle John. Yeah. My Uncle John from Sloan. That's him, just like him.
That accent. That's the accent that's going to be in the movie. Like, hey, shucks, guys. And it's like, This city is the second largest city in New York State. We have people who live here from all over the world, a lot of New York City people, and it's always like, hey guys, we got a lot of snow out there. You guys want ranch is stupid. It's like, oh, it's gonna be
It's
that.
gonna be so that it's gonna be like it.
Ugh.
It's gonna be all the things that we hate about Bill's Twitter being so like cliche, all wrapped into a movie. Like, there's gonna be they're gonna have 3 scenes. I over under right now 2.5. How many tables get broken during this movie? Like, like just dumb shit like that. Yeah, it's gonna be horrible. Ryan, what are your thoughts?
So dumb. You like tailgating?
Well, there's a 0% chance 0% chance Haley Steinfeld's in this movie. First of all, that's not happening. The one thing that they can do, that they should do, is have like a regional dialect coach to teach them how to do the Buffalo accent. Because if you're gonna do it, you got to do it right. Just long A's, 990, the cat in the hat, and just lots of A's. That's it. I would watch the movie if I was guaranteed, a Tonawanda accent. I think is what I really want. Is what I'm looking for.
I want Catalyst Vietnamese $9.99 in the background.
Yeah,
that's good. Sort of like Christmas tree pickup, because long live Amy Poemi. I want what's another? It's
I can just tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be like, obviously it's a Christmas movie, but it's going to be snow. It's going to be chicken wings. It's going to be
overweight
Bills fans tables. Like, it's just going to be so stupid. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it 10 times. I'll watch it 100%. A lot of our friends are gonna be part of it in some form of way. I know my cousin, I think, is actually doing some producing on it. Like,
okay.
Let's
shit on your cousin. Joking.
Well, I think you know him. So I'll give him a little. I'll give him a little shout. Bobby Gott he does
we
a lot of.
love him.
You know Bobby, right? So he does a lot of
Ninja Turtles.
So I'm almost positive he's working, on that. As well as our friend Brian Netzel, I think, is doing parts of this. So, we got some friends that are doing it. So I'm hopefully they have a voice. I don't think they're in that part of the of the production, but yeah.
Those are definitely camera people behind the scenes. I will also say that the other thing that I don't like that people do to our city is, and this is most cities out there, we have beautiful hot influencers, and we've got Haley Steinfeld. We've got all these people. They're beautiful. They're like everyone's plus ones in life are good looking, and then they're gonna have like
it's gonna be
the Christmas store. It's gonna be store. We got the haunted snow globes, and you're like, it's
gonna be Large Marge all day. That's it. Large Marge is gonna have such a huge role in this film. She's just gonna be a mom of 5, single mom. Dude,
like, girl,
I swear to God, if Large Marge we're gonna lose our minds. Her name might not be Large Marge, but there will be a Large Marge in this movie. You know what they should do as the script? It should be, we should find out the real story of what happened with Josh and Brittany. And that should be the plot of the movie, and I would watch that 100%.
I think you're onto something. This might be what are better movies? That's what we should have done. What are better movies than this Bills one? Yes. What really happened? How's her influencer career going in New York City?
Did you see this? Go ahead, Ryan. You might be.
I was just going to say, I love the idea of this Hallmark movie being like the Star Wars of Hallmark movies, such that they come out with like a prequel, like, before Josh met Haley, like it was the prequel chapter. That'd be amazing. That would make me want to watch it. If I knew I was guaranteed like, a high school Josh and like, they did Baby Yoda, so why not do Baby Josh?
High School Josh was already canceled. I don't know if you remember that, but High School Josh.
Oh, right.
High School Josh shouldn't have been on Twitter, and he was. And so I don't know if you remember, but that guy's canceled already. Also, wait, really, we keep on. But Brittany, did you see this? And I don't know what the truth is, and I don't know whatever. It's probably somebody that follows her on Instagram and maybe something. But the newest report is that she's dating some like 19-year-old kid.
I'm going to look this up while you continue talking.
Yeah, that's what I saw that on Twitter. I didn't follow into it. Dude, I mean, there's a whole different thing when she's got to be what, like late 20s, right? How old Josh? 28, 29? So late 20s to like going to date the NFL MVP to a 19-year-old kid. I don't care how hot that dude is, but maybe it's Archie Manning or something. Maybe it's one of the Manning kids.
Not that this is there's only photos of her, so I can't tell her Instagram.
We'll look into this more and talk later.
And according to her social media, I'm doing social media wrong because I'm like, here's me looking goofy and with 2 different eyebrow shapes, and she's just like pretty.
I'm still this day Team Britney. I don't think I would have left Britney for, but that's it.
Bad guy in the Hallmark movie. That's part 2. All right, here's something that is probably not as fun as what we just talked about. Let's talk about, according to science, Mexican food is the most serotonin boosting cuisine in the world. There are a lot of good neurotransmitter regulations in food. Mexican cuisine is full of serotonin boosting ingredients, which avocados and beans are rich in tryptophan, essential for serotonin production. Tomatoes support serotonin levels, while chilies trigger endorphins, enhancing happiness. I think there's also something into like nachos, as a non-carnivore, there is something very animalistic about a crunch, but it's cheaper. It can be shared. I think there's a part of it. What are your takes?
Well, it surprises me that tryptophan is in that. Isn't that what is in turkey that makes you tired, right?
So there is, I think we started it in PETA. Tryptophan does cause people to be tired, but from what I understand from dietitians, you have to have so much in order to get sleepy, like so much. You get more from your melatonin gummy than 2 turkey sandwiches. Otherwise, kids would never eat turkey sandwiches for lunch. So,
all right, it's good to know.
Yeah, the more you know.
I'm not going to try to say any of those words or spell them this week. I don't have much of an opinion besides the fact that I'm never energetic. So I don't know. Nothing I've ever done has changed anything to my serotonin levels. I'm looking for it. If you find it, if it's Mexican food, I'll eat it. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't care, but I'll do my research. I promise we will talk about sports at some point in this podcast. That half of it's been everything, nothing, but fine. Sometimes it's like that, especially with the 3 of us. But I need to add this, and I know Ryan will have a take on it, and I know you'll have a take on it, and that's why. So I went to go see the Snow White movie, the new Snow White movie over the weekend that everyone's up in arms about, and all stressed out about because they're calling us woke for going to see it. Fine. I did have one earplug in listening to a podcast, but whatever, it seemed fine. She enjoyed it even more so. I really don't like. I mean, do you know the reasons why it's getting? She was very political and like some of her stances.
Israel, Palestine.
Yeah, like that. But so a lot of people are like, oh, it's her fault for saying things during that. But let's just even forget that.
Say the names so people who are listening understand what you're talking about.
Snow White,
Gal Gadot, and
I'm sorry. I don't know the other.
That's what you're just saying. Rachel Zegler is playing Snow White.
Oh, Rachel Zegler. Okay, so she said some shit, but let's throw that off. Throw that to the side. People have a lot of problems with the actual movie, which I don't really get. It's not it be people are pissed that she didn't clean the house before the dwarves came. In that scene, where she finds the dwarves' house, she just goes to sleep and waits for them so they could clean together. And people are like, that bitch should have cleaned. I'm sure it's a lot of dudes with neck tattoos and affliction t-shirts that have that opinion. But I don't know. I don't understand the hate against it so much. A hot stepmom, 7 dwarfs, a Latina princess. Sounds like movies I watch quite often. All pretty good to me. Yeah, I understand that people, I really do sometimes get the point of, we're comedians, of when people are like, oh, that they're just getting too woke. There was like the changes were like, the one of the changes that people were mad about was that Prince Charming just doesn't come find her. She kind of flirts with the Prince Charming. And it was like, she's being a whore. Like what? It's just really, really weird, what people find fight. But I guess you guys, with your confused faces, I'm assuming that you have not seen or heard much of the new changes.
Well, I'm confused that a woman talking to, like, flirting instead of him just, I don't know, her passing out and then him kissing her, like, how that's a bad upgrade. Like, that's, to me, kind of much better. How do they do the whole Sleeping Beauty part and a prince? Like, does he like knock on her door while she's sleeping? Is like, surprise, like.
This one is, I think this was how it was in the original. It was made in 1933. I've done a lot of drugs since last time I watched, but yeah, it was the apple where she goes down and then, he does, but they had built a relationship. But because of mutual flirting and the original, it was, he just like stalks her and finds her, and everyone's like, that's how I want my relationships, arranged and when she's almost dead. I don't, it's such a weird argument. But what
kind of childhood trauma do we think the Prince Charming had? That he's like, she's perfect.
Well, in this movie, he's a bandit where they did fuck up a lot, but he was a bandit and they had some interaction and they did some bandit shit together. Not like your bandits, but this bandit. And then, so Snow White was a little bit of an outlaw, but, like I said, Latina, so she had a little bit of fire in her. So I don't know. I thought it was a fine adaptation. I didn't think it was too woke for me. But some people feel a certain form of way.
I just want to draw attention to the fact that Louis, when this segment started, he's like, I know somebody that's going to have some opinions on this. Ryan is definitely going to have some opinions on Snow White. Like, how is that?
I thought you may, you got 2 daughters. You got to decide whether or not you're taking her. I thought you may have seen the
girls are a little younger than Jelena, so it's the idea that I'm going to get their attention for an hour and a half in one movie. Like, there's no way. It's like, maybe an episode here or there, but I also just like the idea that like Louis sitting in the movie theater, like his daughter's watching Snow White, and like somebody is in his ear like, hey, is Brenton Strange going to pay off his 12th round ADP this year? Like, he's trying to get in a podcast on the most. Yep. Hey, listen, you got to get it in when you can. So no, I don't have many opinions on Snow White. I don't think I'll probably go see it, but if the girls wanted to, I would take them. Sure.
Okay.
I think if you have very strong opinions against Snow White, I think you need to look in the mirror.
People were mad that Dopey talked, and sorry for the spoiler alert, but like Dopey had a few words and they did a little bit, but like Dopey's the coolest dwarf. We all could agree on that, right? Like Dopey's cool as fuck. And so he deserved a little bigger role this time around.
I thought Doc was the
Doc talked a lot too. Doc was pretty cool, but Doc's a little bit of a nerd, and we're against
anyone with the nickname of Doc in real life are always great people because they're usually the guy that can fix things, or someone's making fun of the fact that he's not a doctor.
I knew a couple docs that were just really good bartenders, but same thing. Good, cool people. Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. I guess we're gonna start talking football. We have the general manager meetings, and there's some really exciting things that came out of it. We're going to talk about that. The one thing that I found very interesting was the fact that now in overtime, both teams will get possession. I do think that's kind of interesting. It helps with the stress or causes more stress. But what's your take, and what are some favorite things you guys heard?
The owner meetings, it's so funny. Like it's such like it's a lot of like fraternizing, right? I think a lot of just GMs trying to, like you see in Hard Knocks, right? When Joe Shane is talking to the GM from the Panthers and just kind of drops like, hey, Brian Burns, and that whole conversation. I feel like a lot of that is what's going on at these owner meetings. The coaches are there. They're kind of just figuring out what their plans are. As far as news that came out, I got a kick out of the Steelers reporter that was like kind of falling asleep as Tomlin was talking. I saw that. What else? The tush push is being tabled, I think, until May now. They're going to review it and revisit it. But I don't know. It's just, them getting together and just, I guess the rule changes are somewhat significant, but I think a lot of this is like the groundwork for deals to come at the draft. And, everyone's in the same place. So coaches are talking, GMs are talking, owners are talking, presumably. So I don't know. It's just good newsworthy stuff coming out.
Yeah. I think the two major changes was the overtime thing, which I'm for. I don't need my original point was going to kind of be like, oh, I feel like you should play the same way as you play in the playoffs as you do in the regular season. And, that's the same in the regular season as you would in the playoffs. So that's kind of why I'm for it. But I don't know, hockey doesn't. And I much rather have it stay the way you obviously can't play hockey games all night in the regular season. And I would not want it any other way than how it is in the playoffs. So I get that there could be changes. I think that this system still isn't perfect, to be perfectly honest. So it doesn't excite me. I don't even like the fact that even though they both control that, if it's if they both score or whatever, then it just goes back to sudden death. It's kind of the same, there's just not a perfect. There's just not a perfect system, I think, to do overtime. I still think college has the best system, but from the NFL, you'd probably have to do it from like the 50. I think you'd have to start, but and then even then, the way these guys hit each other and get injured, you can't be playing 5 overtime games. So I get it. Did you see the report about Howie Roseman and McDermott and somebody else kind of getting in an argument? They were caught getting in like a pretty heated argument. McDermott kind of downplayed it after it happened, said, we're all friends and we talk pretty animated to each other type of thing. But it was reported that there was a very heated argument, supposedly over one of the rule changes. I don't know if that would have been tush push or not, but it was very obvious from everything that's come out of it that it was like Sirianni like really was pushing, like going around recruiting. Did he not? Again, this could have been like a April Fool's thing, so I want to be careful of just things that I've seen and stuff. But I read like a quote that he like said that a few of the head coaches, like Kellen Moore and like they're head coaches because of this play. So I hope they're voting the right way, like type of that. So again, I'm not sure if he really said that. I should probably check on that. I forget that this week is the worst on social media ever. But
does Nick Sirianni have the most punchable face of all the NFL head coaches? I think he does.
Yeah, he's 100% like the most annoying. But I'm gonna be truthful, like I always do. I would 100% be just like him. If I was a young head coach who was winning, I would be just as arrogant. I'm not saying that it's not easy to hate. I'm just saying I think I would act pretty similar. I think he does it kind of in a corny way. I wish he did it a little bit in a funnier way. He's like, to me, it would be a show. Right. To me, it would be, look at what I could present to you guys. To him, I think there's a lot of real in there. I think there's just a lot. I think that's really who he is kind of just like this cocky nerd almost. But yeah, no, I agree. I could easily punch his face.
I'm just going to say, I think when the season starts, we're going to have to update our hottest NFL coaches because Kevin O'Connell from the Vikings has, to me, the most punchable face. Seems like a really nice guy, but he's always so happy. Yeah. Sirianni has
that would be a fun draft. Just a most punchable face. Doesn't even have to be coaches. Could just be most punchable faces. Allie's like Lou.
Yeah. Again, talented, probably kindest person, good looking, but it's just that,
Little spoiler alert, we were supposed to have Tyler Dunn on tonight, and we probably will either next week or the week after. And we were going to do a different draft than what we're doing tonight. We were going to do coaches that we would have a beer with, or like to have a beer with. And I'm just telling you, I am so stoked for that draft. Not for me drafting, not for Ryan drafting, but I cannot wait for Ryan. Ellie's 4 being like Hank Stram, So one's gonna be like Hank Stram, one's gonna be like Marv Levy today, like just not even prime Marv Levy, like Marv Levy tomorrow is what I want. I cannot wait to hear your list. I'm stoked for it.
Just wait. So good. So great talks. A lot to look forward to this season. So next we're going to do our tight end dynasty rankings, where we're just going to say who we're thinking about. So let's start with Lou. Do you want to do some?
So yeah, I told Ryan we'd do the top 12. Sorry, I should have probably put that in here. But I told Ryan we'd do the top 12. What I'll do, the top 2 are pretty obvious with Bowers and McBride. Let's do that. Let's do that next 12, and we'll kind of go from there, because that's where I think it's going to get interesting. And I'm going to start with my 3, and I'm going to probably surprise a little bit, but I'm going Tyler Warren here. I think Tyler Warren today is my number 3 without knowing where he's going. Obviously, is a little bit tough there, but I want to buy into that. If he goes to one of the top 3 spots that need a tight end, whoever those guys are to you, like, which he will, because he's one of the top tight ends. Well, whatever. We've seen crazier shit happen in the draft. I shouldn't say that, but he then would easily slot in that 3. So I'll just do like my next 5, and then you could kind of talk about that. You could riff off of that and then do your next 5, and then we'll go back and forth. So it was Warren. My number 4 would be, Laporta, then Loveland, Hawk, Kittle.
You're gonna, we're good. All right, this is what you're getting here, folks. You're getting, two pretty good dynasty players. We're pretty close. So I have everything I have the same 5 players in there. Awesome. But I have Loveland 3rd. So, and here's my case for Loveland over Warren. Loveland, I'm a Matt Waldman disciple. Okay. As far as scouting goes, I kind of take his word as Bible. I think he is a really, really good scout. I've followed his work for years now. He was right on Laporta. Kincaid arguably still has a ceiling, if you want to believe it. So he was big on him too. But Loveland, I expect to be first round. I don't think there's any doubt he's going to be a first round pick. And he's going to be selected in that range of the draft that I can think he's going to have like that immediate impact. And I've heard good things about Warren too. I wonder if, let's say he goes to the Jets, that could be a good spot. They have a need at that position and a concentrated target, tree. So maybe he gets peppered with targets, but I could see, let's say Loveland goes to Cincinnati, or Loveland goes to, the Chargers. I mean, my God, that's wheels up for him. So I have Loveland 3rd, Laporta 4th, Warren 5th, Kittle 6th, and Hawkinson 7th. They're interchangeable to me. They're really, really close. Age slightly favors Hawkinson, and I get it, but Kittle also gives you those, I think, higher likelihood of getting those spike weeks. So, pick your flavor there. I'll give the next 5 after that, and then you can kind of riff off mine, Lou. So we're at 8 now. So 8, I have, right?
Yep.
Okay, so 8, I have Evan Ingram. I'm still kind of buying into him. He's young enough, and I think he could have like another 3 or 4 years of pretty good production if he works out in Denver. Then I have David Njoku, followed by Tucker Kraft. I still have Kyle Pitts in here, and then Mark Andrews as 12. So those are my next 5. Lou, any thoughts on those players?
Yeah, so you missed one kind of big for me, and it was a guy that you mentioned quickly, so I want to we'll take the second to talk to him. My next after Kittle, my number 8 is still Kincaid.
It's over. It's over.
And I'm not. I had a good conversation with somebody about this today, and I'm not going to dispute your point, because this is exactly how I said it. Is that all the things that things that you want to see are there. The target share, the things that you would normally get positive regression on, drops, catchable balls thrown his way were low, like all these things. But those are usually things that you want to like look at one year and be like, next year they'll be corrected, right? They'll have positive regression. Well, now it's 3 years of the same numbers that you're like, well, they should be getting better, right? Because of all these positive things in its way, and it just hasn't. So to your point, it's like, all right, are these numbers that deserve a positive regression, or is this just who he is? So I'm with you. I just, for age and what those numbers look like, and having the best quarterback in the league at his helm, I got to put him there.
I can just, while staying on him for 1 second. I mean, do you see? I know it's eye test, all right, and we're analytics are for the nerds. But like, do you just see it with your eye though? I mean, I don't see the talent, like the talent to be like a difference maker at the position. If Josh one day wakes up and says, "Yes, I want to pepper Dalton Kincaid with 12 targets," yeah, of course, then he's going to smash. But what reason would he have to do that? He's not shown anything in 3 years to make me want to go out of my way to do that. If I'm Josh Allen.
I do. I really do. I think I see the athleticism, and I see it in the player. I think for whatever reason, whether it be system, Josh and his chemistry, or a lot of bad luck. I mean, it would have to be a lot for all these things to keep on continuing the way they are. But I think maybe a combination of all three of those things is why it hasn't worked out. I just think the potential is still there. And if you're going to sit here and tell me that Pitts is still on your list, man.
Yeah, but there's talent there. I mean, I think there's more talent there. I personally still.
Oh, aren't you so cool? I'm going to go Kincaid, Ingram right behind you, Njoku right behind him, just like you had it, and then Andrews and Pitts. So we were really close to that. I will just mention my last two there as we're going in the 13 and 14 guys that I kind of put on this list to talk. I did just miss out on Kraft. I have him at 13. And then 14, I wanted to make a point here is that I thought about this way too much for a podcast list. But 14, I'm going to put Arroyo over Jonnu Smith, who I think, but I made a point to put both of them here as kind of tied 14, is that I think that will be a perfect post-draft trade that, I think Arroyo goes to a decent spot, probably not a great spot, whatever. Even if he just goes to an average tight end spot, wherever it is, and he's the third or fourth guy off the board at the tight end position, I think that would be a perfect dynasty trade if you were in a sell mode, just sell Jonnu for him, or if you were in a buy now, buy Jonnu for him. So I like that where I ended up.
Yeah, we approached this list very, very similarly because I finished up with 13 Kincaid. Yes, still throwing him on this list to leave the light on, I guess. And my 14 is also a rookie, just a different rookie that I'm higher on. Mason Taylor. I talked about him as my flavor of the week. He's getting so much buzz. He had a really good pro day. His numbers look really good from a testing perspective, and he's getting early second to mid second type round buzz, and I would probably be comfortable moving him up like into the late 9-10 range. So yeah, that's what I have. So yeah, we're pretty close on who the players are. It's just a little bit different on the order.
Yeah. I also, Ryan, I love the Mason Taylor take. I think he's definitely someone to look at. So great. Next up, the Flava of the week. Ryan, who do you have?
What a you little tease there, Ryan. Mentioned the flavor of the week, and here you are, first one. Go ahead. What do you got this week?
All right, so it's rookies only. Okay, I've already talked about my love for Mason Taylor and Colson Loveland this year in this class. I want to talk about another one of the running backs that I think I was high on just for my novice watching of football and watching of YouTube highlights. Yes, not film. Okay, don't get mad at me, film bros. All right, but I like Quinshon Judkins a lot. I think a lot more than like consensus. So he's right now he's being drafted somewhere in the late 60s, early 70s for ADP. He's likely to be a second round pick. I think he's in that you know, 2A tier of running backs behind Genty. He had a really productive final season with the Buckeyes. He had really good testing. You know, he actually, I think, solved or answered a lot of questions with the long speed with his 40 time. I just think he's an overall like a good player. He has really good contact balance. He's a bigger back, so I think he has, you know, longevity at that position, you know, a good 5 years in him as a strong lead back. And I do think that because of the talent in this running back class and the need at so many of these teams have, somebody's going to give him that job. You know, I could see the Titans taking him in the second round and just kind of turning the backfield over to him. You know, yes, still using Pollard and Spears, I guess, to it. Maybe that's not the best example. They have too many backs, but somebody to give him just I see him having a workhorse role. So I have been higher on Judkins this whole process. I expect him to get good draft capital, and then hopefully he brings the performance to back it up.
Quickly on Judkins in the running back group, like in just general, I talked with Mike Shope about this the other day, kind of him and I just having a conversation. I think too many places, like it didn't quite happen this year. I think there will be more roadblocks than what we expect, like Mostert going to LA. I know that's just a whatever, but he's a touch eater. You know, he'll eat up some touches. Aaron Jones going back to Minnesota, like guys like that getting like another chance in the league will delay this a year. But I think we are 1 year removed from the biggest shift in running backs like throughout the league, that some of these guys will be getting drafted this year and not have much of a role next year until 2026. And then, you know, maybe a couple guys from the 2026 class. But I think a lot of guys from this class are going to get drafted, and people are not going to like their spots because of some of those type of situations. But I do think that it will only take, you know, maybe even in season, but 1 year before that really starts shifting. And so some of these guys get a chance at 26. So I would say anything, I'm trying to build a lot of second and third rounders in dynasty drafts to get as many as those guys as possible and just stash them. Allie, any flavor of the weeks for you?
My flavor of the week is, I love that you said Judkins, because that's kind of, I can't wait to clip that just so it's I love Val Kilmer. Today they announced that he passed away. Huge influence in terms of me loving older men in my life. I was so in love with him in the 90s. He just really made remarkable movies. This one is one of those really sad ones. Tombstone came out Christmas 1993. I remember only like cool people had HBO, and I saw that in 1994. But The Island of Dr. Moreau was like the craziest film, and just bonkers, and such a talent. And man, so hot.
So your flavor of the week is Val Kilmer dying? That seems morbid.
Yeah.
That seems a little bit morbid.
Retrograde.
Are you
doing that right? Super
or is
hot.
your flavor of the week that you haven't stopped watching Val Kilmer movies since he passed? Like that
in the 90s. Whew. I guess we'll get into that probably some other time with my therapist.
there was a little bit when that news came out yesterday where he's one of those guys where I had to do the whole like, or what was it, a couple days ago that he passed?
No, it was this morning.
Oh, Jesus, was it that this morning?
I had a really bad
day. That's how long today has been. But it is one of those guys that feels like I had to think for a second, like he's not dead yet. I thought he was dead. Well, at least he finally proved that he is the worst Batman.
Right? No, and he was a great Batman.
Yeah. Any of the other ones die yet? I'm just using facts.
Yeah, but I love me some Michael Keaton, if we want to talk about, oh man.
Yeah, Michael Keaton for you has to be like a fucking Like a car wash. I gotta quickly. I wish I just had a long day. I wish I was in a little bit better of a mood to tell this story a little bit more pizzazz. I know this is like my story. This is my time to like talk about all my dumb dating things. And the last time we talked about this, did flavor of the week was about your friend that you guessed in 3 guesses and she never called. So that didn't work out. So
she's definitely not watching a fantasy football sports podcast. I don't think any of my
so well, whatever. She should start. And then we so then I was hurt and struck by that, right? And I didn't know how to get over it. I had this customer that for months, she's been a customer of mine for like 2 years. Huge crush. She was the landlord of one of my other flavor of the weeks, which is totally weird. So when when that fizzled out, there was a time I had to wait right before I could make a move on the landlord, because you got to, it's all so there is a mental time that the amount of time you have to wait. Well, the last time I did work for her, I kind of cut her a break, said, hey, cut you a little bit of a break, blah, blah, blah. Only comes with a deal of you buying me a drink sometime. And this is when the other flavor of the drink week was happening. And just, I just made that joke, little hint, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, of course, blah, blah, blah. Well, now no flavor of the weeks. Louis at a bar, saddened. And there's another thing. You can't send this text message ever at like the one I'm about to tell you about. You can't send it at 9 or 10 o'clock. You got to send it at an appropriate hour. You can't send it like drinking hours or anything. But this is what I did. I was sitting there at 5 o'clock. I was taking a walk. I was like, will I ever find love? Will I ever find love? I was just asking myself, and I deserve love, crying. Tears were coming down. And I said, oh, I know what I can do. And I texted the old the old customer, and I said, hey, I got this invoice that's been unpaid for months, and I need you to pay it so I could close it. And she was like, wait, what? I'm so sorry, like, what do I owe you? And I was like, oh, don't you remember you owe me a drink? And whoa, did that work. I could not believe how receptive it was. Did a little first date, went good. It's one of those things. I think I always get when something goes good, like when I leave going, well, this is done. Like for like 2 different reasons. Like one, either I have somebody having too much faith in me and I know I'm gonna fuck up, or 2, like there's the challenge is gone. Like I was like, oh, there's not, I don't get to, there's no, so there hasn't been a second date since. It's not because of that, but there's been a little bit more talking. But I shot my shot, and it was a good shot. It was a good shot.
I love that story. I think you have so much game. Also, I would have loved if you also did that elevator pitch and said, how much do I owe you? And she's like, I owe you 20,000. You say a beer, and then it's.
I did the same game. Yeah. I was like, yeah, no, it was she. I get weird when people. This is just a me thing, but when anybody responds well to like those type of things, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Like I was like, did I manipulate somehow? Do I need to apologize to you already? Why did you accept this? And why are we having fun? This doesn't feel right. It's very telling about yourself when fun doesn't feel right. It's like something's wrong here. We got to go home. All right. Well, that was flavor of the week. Let's do our draft really quick. And, and it's about you.
So nice. Well, everyone, since I don't know why, again, this is that April Fool's thing. I'm just waiting. For some reason, we're doing the best Allie's draft. So
we've done Ryan's. There will be a day that we'll do Louis. There's a lot of Louis out there, but today it's the best Allie's. Nice. I'm gonna do the order here, and of course he begged for it, and he's gonna get it. Ryan, number 1 Allie number 2, and then I
Can't
am
even
number
plant my own
3.
draft.
I
Can't
know,
even.
and he's gonna pick the one that you said you wanted to pick. It was your number 1. You know he's gonna do it. But go ahead, Ryan.
He doesn't even
You know
know.
what? I'm gonna surprise. I'm gonna surprise here, and not take the one that I know Allie is going to take, because I don't know who she is. All I know is that she is an attorney, so I can't just like make that my pick. I have to believe in my picks with all my heart. And so my first pick in the Allie draft is Muhammad Ali. I think that counts.
That's so good. That
Okay.
counts. That
I mean,
counts. That's so good.
he takes the cake. I mean, easily is the best Ali, whatever you want to say. Like, you know,
That's good.
that you know, no offense, but I mean, he's the GOAT. You know, so yeah, I mean, it's Muhammad Ali with the first pick. So sorry, Ally McBeal, but I had to go with.
I like that. All right,
That is a fantastic pick. And spoiler, still not going to pick me. Even though Ryan spoiled who it is, I am picking the great Callista Flockhart as Ally McBeal. It was a great show in the 90s. It was fantastic. It was on Fox. There's so many good shows are on. Then there was a lot of bathroom scenes they're just talking and things happening in bathrooms, which was pretty gross if you think about how much germs are there. But great show. Really recommend it, Ryan. You should watch it. It's very fun. But Ally McBeal.
All right. That's a good one. I'm going to go here with the first pick. I'm going to go alley oop. Huh? Fucking alley oops are great. Most fun playing basketball. I'll go with the alley oop. And then my next pick, I'm going to go with a couple here. I'm gonna go with Allison Parker, the what's her face's Courtney Thorne Smith's character in Melrose Place. Now, this is funny. So I remembered Courtney Thorne Smith played an Allie in it, so I had to look up her name, Google her name, and then I found out it was Allison Parker. I was looking for the last name for this, and then I just Googled her to make sure that was the last name, the good girl from Melrose Place. Do you remember that shooting that happened on air, during the newscast? Two people were interviewing somebody, and somebody just started shooting, and the two newscasters died. It was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah. Her name was also Allison Parker. I'm not picking her, but weird that the fictional, mine's the fictional character, Allison Parker. I just wanted to clarify that I was not picking the shooting victim.
Was it a clarification, a shout out? What was?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was a little bit of both.
You to your therapist now, because that was it was happening, and I was like, "Is what?" And then I thought it was going to go. Okay, all right.
I know, that's it.
I'm here for a hug. If you, oof. All right. What is your second?
I picked both of them. Alley-oop and then
that was so sad. I wanted to see if you needed an oopsie daisy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm gonna go. I'm going to go something weird here because I know you both said you don't know a lot of allies, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go with the World War II allies, because
dude, I was gonna jokingly say Russia in my last pick, and because it's a joke, obviously, because but I was like, no one. I was like, no one will go that route, and that's perfect. You went that route. I'm gonna have to cross that off my big board because I'm not gonna plagiarize. It won't be funny anymore. Good job.
He knows me so well that, again, not the first choice for anyone, that doesn't even know that I have a degree in history.
I know that you have a degree in history. I just didn't think you were going to make the alley connection. Sorry.
No, that's good. But
good job. That's good. I love it.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go with something I thought of while we were discussing our picks here, because I had a list of 4 and I'm struggling here, but I'm going to go with the bowling alley.
That's so good.
I feel like who doesn't like bowling? Bowling's pretty good. I'll take bowling. And then with my second pick of this round, or the I guess the third pick total, I'm going to go with Wall-E. I don't. The movie Wall-E, does that count? Al-E. I
No.
mean, it's ALL. Does that not count? Do I have to pick
Got
another
the
one?
ALLE in it.
No.
I
Is
think
it too much of a stretch? I got another one.
Stretch for my take.
all
All
right.
right.
You,
All right. No,
Ellie
no, no,
voted.
no, no, no. It's too much of a stretch. I'll take it back. I'm gonna go with aliens. Aliens. That counts.
Wow, you are really bad at this today.
No,
I
I don't hate aliens. I don't hate aliens.
Aliens is
Especially,
way better than Wall-E.
I once picked Prozac in the Zach draft. He could have aliens.
Okay.
Thank you.
That is
I get all aliens. That's
I like
amazing.
it. I think that's
Prozac
actually a
is
really
very
good
funny,
play.
though.
Ellie's just trying to be spiteful. She had a rough day.
Yeah.
She didn't wake up for her alarm clock.
Yeah,
All right.
so annoying.
All right, back to Ellie.
Yeah, still not picking me. I'm gonna go with the alley cat.
Alley Cat's great.
Scrubby little dirty cat. And there's also a great song at Alley Cat from back in the day, which is a little.
I'm sorry. The way that you said that line just sounded like exactly like D. Reynolds. Like that was spot on. It was so good.
that is how I speak to my dogs, and that's why they use the bathroom in the house sometimes. They're like, "We hate you," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" Okay, all right, the Alley Cat.
All right. So listen, we've all passed on the obvious number one way too long, and I'm gonna just get it done. Ellie Brady needs to be drafted in this. It needs to be drafted in this pick. And let's face it, you won't do it. And I had to beat Ryan to it, so he didn't get the good guy points. So I'm gonna nail that. And yeah, I get it. And then I really have one that was pretty high on my list, but I'm gonna see if one of you guys get it, and if not, I'll talk. But this one, when I was looking up, like you said it right before we started, I think, like, hey, there's some Allison last names, you know, if you guys are thinking of something. So I was looking up, like, I was trying to remember some people with Allison as the last name, and I found this person that I never heard of, but I had to click on it because her name's Sunny Mae Allison, very, very pretty pitcher, and I never had heard from her. And like she's like 4'9", and you know that's always that's kind of attractive. So I like click on it. She's not a child. Ryan looked confused there. So trying to learn what she does, and this I need to read this. So Sunny Mae Allison is an artist from Detroit who has been living in LA for 3 years. She came to Los Angeles with one goal in mind: making it as an artist. So many of these girls do, don't they? Since arriving, Sunny Mae has engulfed in the best acting classes, camps, troops, and teachers in Los Angeles. Some people say they are multi-talented, but this girl is one of the real ones. Absolutely want to know who wrote that. Sunny has been a professional artist selling her art since she arrived in Los Angeles at the world famous Fairfax Trading Post. Her art has sold for thousands of dollars and appeared in numerous movies and television shows. I want to know which ones. Sunny is a professional dancer. Okay. Who trains religiously at Millennium Dance Studio, which is also known as Cooters on Saturday nights. Like, come on, dude. This was a biography written by a girl who had dreams at one point, moved out to LA, and they were all ruined. That is just nicely saying that she's a stripper who had big dreams. That's all that's saying. Ellie, you're not reading that at all.
I just looked her up. She was born in 2002. So when you say she's not a kid, she was only a couple years ago.
23, dude.
I love how Louis' pick was just somebody from the Sundowner. He just drafted somebody that
I honestly think that's exactly. I think she worked there. All right.
Yeah, in hindsight, I probably should have taken Ellie Brady over Aliens, but you know, I digress.
Aliens was great. I'm sticking up for you with Aliens. Go ahead, Ellie.
It's not the worst. This is my final, right?
Yep.
Am I the last one to go? Oh wait, Ryan, are you done too, Ryan?
Yeah. No, it's gonna underwhelm, but I still have one more.
I have someone I can throw you a alley-oop. This movie is so annoying. I don't know if I want to say it. Does that give a hint to you? A love story? No. I'm going to go Allie from The Notebook.
Okay. That's a good one, and she was on my list. I think that's a good one.
Yeah. Ryan's looking into
Everybody-
it. It's so after a while, I feel like people watch that movie too much. It's a great movie, but like you only need to watch it once every 15 years, but whatever.
Yeah,
feel
I
bad.
can't judge you because my last pick is Geronimo Allison. That's the only sports player that I could think of, and we discussed this pregame or pre-show. That's it. Geronimo, he was a wide receiver for the Packers. He's still only 31 years old, so maybe he still has a little football left in him.
I do have a couple of great alleys.
Go ahead. Yeah. Because
So
Ryan doesn't.
this was going to be my number one. I do a joke about it too, but it's Jane Curtin, Kate and Allie, great TV show in the 80s. Allison Brie, fantastic. Allison Janney, love her as well. I believe
Allison Janney would have been my pick if I didn't go with the lovely Ellie Brady. We were fighting.
And then Allie Caulfield, who is Holden Caulfield's brother in The Catcher in the Rye. He was the dead brother before.
Yep, all good. Ryan,
I
don't have any honorable mentions.
Ryan, and Janney was the only one left on my list too. So.
Yeah, Wally is.
I'm trying to get Allie out of them. Like,
it's a stretch. I know. That tells you where my list was tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Well, everyone, thank you for dealing with that painful draft. I'm so glad that we did that together, and this is why I'm on mute sometimes. Okay, so thank you for listening to Analytics Are for the Nerds. We really appreciate you tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Have a great week. We will see you next week, everyone. Take care.